I buried my wife on a Tuesday in March. The sky was that particular shade of gray that makes everything feel unfinished. My daughter Rebecca stood beside me at the graveside, her hand gripping mine so tight I could feel her wedding ring pressing into my palm. She'd flown in from Phoenix with her husband Derek the night before. "I'm so sorry, Dad," she whispered as they lowered the casket. "Mom was everything." She was. Linda and I had 42 years together. 42 years in the same house on Maple Street, the one with the blue shutters she insisted on repainting every 5 years. The house felt impossibly large now, full of her absence. Rebecca and Derek stayed for a week after the funeral. She cooked the casseroles that neighbors had dropped off, sorted through sympathy cards, helped me figure out which bills needed paying. Derek was quiet, helpful in that stiff way sons-in-law can be, fixing the leaky faucet in the guest bathroom, taking out the trash without being asked. "Dad, we're worried about you," Rebecca said on their last morning there. We were sitting at the kitchen table, the same one where Linda used to do crossword puzzles every Sunday. "This house is too big for one person. What if you fell? What if something happened and nobody knew for hours?" "I'm 63, not 90, I said. "I can manage." "I know you can." She reached across and squeezed my hand. "But you shouldn't have to. Derek and I have been talking. His company is opening a new office in Charlotte. That's only 2 hours away. We could move here, help out, keep you company." Something in my chest loosened. The house had been so quiet. "You'd do that?" "Of course. Your family." She smiled, and for a moment she looked exactly like Linda. "Besides, this old place has plenty of room." They moved in 6 weeks later. I helped Derek carry boxes up to the second floor, the bedrooms that had been empty since Rebecca left for college. She set up her home office in Linda's old sewing room. Derek turned the garage into a workshop. It felt good, having life in the house again, having someone to eat dinner with. The first month was fine, better than fine. Rebecca made pot roast on Sundays just like her mother used to. Derek and I watched baseball together. They were respectful, careful. When I wanted to be alone, they gave me space. When I needed company, they were there. Then, small things started changing. I came downstairs one morning to find Rebecca rearranging the living room. The couch had been pushed against the opposite wall. Linda's favorite armchair, the floral one she'd sat in every evening to read, was gone. "Where's the chair?" I asked. "Oh, Dad, that old thing. The upholstery was shot. Derek took it to Goodwill yesterday. Don't worry, we ordered you a nice new recliner. It'll be better for your back." I didn't have a bad back. The chair had been Linda's. I wanted to say something, but Rebecca was already moving on, talking about throw pillows and accent colors, and I didn't want to seem difficult. They were doing me a favor, after all. The next week, Derek suggested we update my will. "It's just smart planning," he said. We were in his workshop. He was sanding down a bookshelf he was building. "Linda's passing. It changes things legally. You should make sure everything's in order. I know a great estate attorney. We could go together." "I have a will," I said. "Jim Patterson drew it up years ago." "Patterson?" Derek made a face. "He's gotta be, what, 80? Dad, you need someone who understands modern estate tax law. This guy I know, he's sharp, specializes in asset protection." Asset protection. As if I had assets worth protecting beyond the house and my pension. "I'll think about it," I said. He nodded, but something in his expression bothered me. A flicker of impatience, maybe. Or calculation. 2 weeks later, I went to visit my brother Tom upstate. Just a weekend trip, something Linda and I used to do every fall. When I got back Sunday evening, I found the lock on my bedroom door had been changed. I stood there in the hallway, my key refusing to turn, feeling foolish and confused. "Rebecca?" I called. "Derek?" Rebecca came up the stairs. "Oh, Dad, sorry, I should have told you. The old lock was sticking. Derek installed a new one. Here." She handed me a single key. "This should work better." It did work, but when I opened my nightstand drawer that evening, I noticed things had been moved. My checkbook wasn't quite where I'd left it. The folder with my insurance papers had been rifled through. Maybe I was imagining things. Maybe grief was making me paranoid. But I started paying attention. I noticed Rebecca going through the mail before I saw it. I noticed Derek on his laptop late at night, spreadsheets full of numbers I didn't recognize. I noticed them whispering in the kitchen, conversations that stopped abruptly when I entered. "Everything okay?" I asked one morning. "Of course." Rebecca's smile was bright. "Why wouldn't it be?" I didn't have an answer. Just a feeling in my gut that used to serve me well when I was teaching high school history. The same feeling I got when a student was cheating or hiding something. Then came the night I couldn't sleep. Grief does that sometimes, hits you at 2 a.m. and pins you to the mattress. I went downstairs for warm milk, Linda's old remedy. The house was dark except for a light under Derek's workshop door. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but the door was cracked open, and Derek's voice carried. "No, Mom, I'm telling you, it's perfect. The old man is completely out of it. Grief's got him scattered. He won't even notice." I froze in the hallway. "We need to move faster," Derek continued. "I've already got the paperwork ready. Once we get him to sign over power of attorney, we can access everything. The house alone is worth $400,000, and his pension's been building for 40 years. Rebecca's an only child. It's all going to us anyway. Why wait?" Silence. He was listening to whoever was on the other end. "A care facility?" Derek laughed. "Yeah, we've looked into it. There's a place in Greensboro, about $1,000 a month. Basic, but clean enough. Once we sell this place, we can cover that for years and still pocket the difference." My hand gripped the doorframe. I felt dizzy. "No, he trusts us completely. Rebecca's playing the devoted daughter perfectly. He thinks we moved here out of love." Another laugh, sharp and cold. "Love doesn't pay the bills, Mum. Derek Jr.'s college fund isn't going to fill itself, and Rebecca's business is barely breaking even. This inheritance is our retirement plan." I don't remember walking back upstairs. I sat on the edge of my bed, Linda's side still made up perfectly, even though she'd been gone 3 months. My daughter. My only child. The baby girl I'd held in the hospital 38 years ago, who'd called me Daddy until she was 12, who'd cried on my shoulder after her first heartbreak. She was planning to rob me, to lock me away in some cut-rate facility and strip everything Linda and I had built together. I didn't sleep that night. As the sky turned gray with dawn, I made a decision. At 7 a.m, I called Jim Patterson. "Jim, I need to see you today. It's urgent." "What's wrong?" Jim had been our attorney for 25 years. He'd handled our house purchase, our wills, helped us through 2 property disputes with neighbors. "I can't explain on the phone. Can you meet me at your office at 9? "Of course. I'll be there." Rebecca and Derek were still asleep when I left. I drove to Jim's office in the old brick building downtown, the same place he'd practiced law for 40 years. Maybe Derek was right that he was old-fashioned, but I trusted him. "Tell me what's happening," Jim said once we were seated in his office. I told him everything. The moved furniture, the changed locks, Derek's late-night phone call. My voice cracked when I got to the part about the care facility. Jim's face darkened. This is elder abuse, you know. Financial exploitation. We could press charges. She's my daughter. She's planning to steal your life. I stared at my hands. I don't want her arrested. I just want to protect what's mine. What Linda's. Jim nodded slowly. Okay, here's what we're going to do. He explained it step by step. The house was in my name solely, since Linda had inherited it from her parents and had put it in my name alone before she passed for tax reasons. I could transfer the deed to anyone I wanted. The pension couldn't be touched without my signature, and my existing will couldn't be changed unless I initiated it. But if they get power of attorney, I started. They won't. We're going to make sure of that today. Right now. Jim pulled out forms from his filing cabinet. First, we're going to create a revocable living trust. You'll put the house into it. Then, we're going to execute a medical directive and a financial power of attorney naming someone else. Do you have someone you trust? A friend? A sibling? My brother Tom. Perfect. We'll do it today. Notarized, filed, ironclad. He paused. The trust can designate beneficiaries for after you pass. It doesn't have to be Rebecca. You could name a charity, a cousin, whomever you want. No, I swallowed hard. Leave it to her. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Derek put her up to this. Maybe she'll come to her senses. But I can't access it while I'm alive. I won't give them the chance. We spent 4 hours in Jim's office. He called in his notary. We signed papers until my hand cramped. When we finished, Jim put everything in his safe. The house is protected, he said. Your finances are protected. As long as Tom has power of attorney, they can't touch anything. And Tom won't execute anything without your explicit verbal consent, correct? Correct. Good. One more thing. Jim opened his desk drawer and pulled out a small device. Recording pen. Keep it in your pocket. If Derek or Rebecca pressure you to sign anything, record it. It'll be evidence if we need it. I drove home feeling numb. The protection was in place, but it didn't stop the ache in my chest. My daughter. How had I failed so badly that she'd become this person? When I walked in, Rebecca was in the kitchen making lunch. There you are. I was worried. Where'd you go? Doctor's appointment, I lied. Routine checkup. You should have told me. I would have driven you, she smiled. You're not supposed to drive after physicals. What if they dilated your eyes? They hadn't dilated my eyes. I hadn't been to the doctor. But I nodded and let her fuss over me, wondering how someone could seem so caring while plotting such betrayal. That evening, Derek brought it up again. Dad, I scheduled a meeting with that estate attorney I mentioned. Thursday at 2. I'll drive you. Actually, I saw Jim Patterson today. We updated everything. Derek's expression flickered. Patterson? Dad, I told you. It's done. Everything's in order. What did you update? Rebecca asked. Her voice was careful, controlled. Did you make any major changes? I looked at my daughter, at her forced smile, at the tension in her shoulders. Just made sure everything was current, I said. Nothing to worry about. That night, I heard them arguing in their room. Voices raised, Derek's angry hiss, Rebecca crying. I pressed my ear to the wall but couldn't make out words, just the sound of my daughter's distress, and I hated that some part of me still wanted to comfort her. The next morning, Derek tried a different approach. Dad, I was thinking, this house, it's a lot of maintenance. The roof's going to need replacing in a few years. The furnace is ancient. Property taxes keep going up. Wouldn't it be easier to sell? Move somewhere smaller? A nice condo, maybe? Rebecca and I could help you find something. I like this house. But it's not practical, Derek. I looked at him straight. I'm keeping the house. It was Linda's parents' house. It's where we raised Rebecca. I'm not selling. His jaw tightened. You're being stubborn. It's my house. I can be stubborn if I want. Things deteriorated from there. Rebecca became distant, her cheerfulness replaced by brittle tension. Derek stopped pretending to be friendly. They whispered constantly, shot me sharp looks. I'd catch them on their phones, always turning away when I entered a room. 2 weeks after my meeting with Jim, Rebecca knocked on my bedroom door late at night. Dad, can we talk? I almost said no, but she was still my daughter. Come in. She sat on the edge of the bed. In the dim light, she looked young, scared. I know you know, she said quietly. My heart hammered. Know what? About the plan? Derek's plan? She twisted her hands together. I heard you that night outside his workshop. You must have heard him on the phone. I didn't confirm or deny, just waited. I'm so sorry. Her voice broke. I was desperate. The business is failing. We owe $80,000 in debt. Derek's been out of work for 6 months, not 2 weeks like we told you. I thought if we could just access some of the equity in the house, maybe take out a loan against it, we could survive. But Derek, he started talking about power of attorney and care facilities, and I went along with it because I didn't know what else to do. Tears were streaming down her face. Real ones, I thought. Or maybe I just wanted them to be real. You were going to put me away, I said. No, I mean, Derek was talking about it, but I wasn't. I wouldn't. She covered her face with her hands. I don't know what I would have done. I'm so ashamed. Mom would be so disappointed in me. Yes, I said. She would be. Rebecca flinched like I'd slapped her. I went to Jim Patterson, I continued. The house is in a trust. My finances are protected. There's nothing you can access even if you wanted to. She nodded, still crying. I figured. Derek's been furious. He says we wasted 6 months here for nothing. Is that all I am? Wasted time? No, she looked up at me. No, Dad, I love you. I do. I got lost. The money problems, Derek's pressure, I stopped seeing clearly. But I never stopped loving you. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to believe her so badly. You need to leave, I said. You and Derek. I want you out by the end of the week. Dad, I'm not pressing charges. I'm not cutting you out of the will. When I die, you'll inherit everything, assuming you survive me. But I can't have you here. I can't trust you. She was sobbing now. Please. I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but please don't cut me out of your life completely. I'll go. We'll go, but can I still call? Can I visit sometimes? I thought about Linda, about how she'd always believed in second chances, in redemption, about how she'd always said that family was complicated, that love wasn't simple. You can call, I said finally. In a few months, when I've had time to think, you can visit. But not Derek. I don't want to see him. Okay, she wiped her eyes. Okay, that's fair. She left my room. I heard her and Derek packing through the night. By morning, their cars were loaded. Rebecca came to say goodbye.
Derek stayed in the car, engine running. "I'm sorry," she said one more time.
I'll spend the rest of my life making this up to you. Maybe, I said. We'll see. I watched them drive away. Then I went inside, closed the door, and stood in the empty house. Linda's house. Our house. Still mine. The silence was heavy, but it was honest. No more whispers, no more schemes. Just me and the memories of 42 years with the woman I loved. I walked to the kitchen and put on coffee. Through the window, the morning sun was breaking through clouds. The blue shutters needed repainting again. Maybe in the spring I'd do it. Linda's favorite color. I'd keep it her favorite color. My phone buzzed. A text from Tom. "Hey, brother. Want to come up for the weekend? Sarah's making her pot roast." I smiled. Typed back, "I'd like that." There would be time to decide about Rebecca later. Time to figure out if forgiveness was possible, or if some betrayals cut too deep. For now, I had my house, my independence, my dignity. And the memory of Linda's voice saying what she always said when things got hard. "You're stronger than you think, love. You'll figure it out." I was figuring it out, one day at a time. In the house with the blue shutters on Maple Street, where I belonged.